Hi, welcome to our project. We've been working on a web app called HousingDB for matching renters and landlords with properties and finding people a place to live. Uh, Today we will be looking at, we'll be kind of looking through it, I guess. The thing I most recently worked on was basically an API for creating a housing available listing, like a rental listing. We're using a model view controller type design. I created a routes file for this first route, which is post a post route to the housing available path. And this here is our handler. As you can see here, this references that. And here is housing available.models, which kind of details how the schema that we're going to be working with is defined on this. So we have a server up and running, and we can go ahead. I'm going to use another tool. This is called Adminer, and this will let us make sure that basically that we've put an entry into the database and that it's working. Oh, I think it might actually already be running, which is really great. To share this. Right, now we're going to use like Swagger to basically simulate a logging, the process of making an account to post these with. So it's the basic login. Paste that in here. This URL, go here, and normally it would take you to a login page. I think it's because I need to basically we logged in here and got the web token. I don't know if I want to do that over again. This. Get an account ID. Sample thing here. Person's name is Robert. Okay. Cool. Can you pause recording or? And we're back after some technical difficulties, which are too boring to explain. But we've made a housing available post request to post a rental listing, basically. And this shows what we're in there. And then I should be able to go, fingers crossed, over to Adminer. Are you all still able to see my screen?
Yep, perfect.
All right, you can see our entire schema represented here. Housing available, you see the general thing, and then, oh hey, let's select some data. Oh, Bob Barker, great spot. Some random stuff. Timestamp, and then we have, these will be used later to associate it with other entities in our Postgres, I don't know how to pronounce that, our SQL database, basically. And yeah, that's about all I've got.
That's awesome, Vita. Thank you so much for sharing that. So I guess I will go next. Like Vita explained, we were working on a housing um, database for a nonprofit organization. So we were responsible for some endpoints of the backend part, the API. I was responsible for the external housing listing. And let me just go ahead and share my screen. So what we have is, let me just start everything on my terminal. Just do drop the compose up and also run Avenger as well. As Vita explained, Avenger is just like another thing we use to see our backend. So we got everything running. We can go to our local host, which is the same as the status up, and we have our zooms as far here. So annoying. So we have our API page right here, which everything Vita showed. So my endpoint is the external housing available, which is we have the post so far. Let's just test it out. So we can get a new account with Swagger, and this is the UUID that we need for our account ID. Later on I can show. So we already have some data. We can replace the author ID, and then for the title, let's just do, I don't know, testing. And then for address, we also, the front end looks something along the line this. So maybe we can just like get an address and copy this, and we can paste it in here. And I don't know, maybe there's like 2, and then there's like 2.5 bath, and contact, let's not make it as Gmail, maybe it is Vita. And then body is hello world, type that. And status will always be active, and let's just use Google, and let me try this out. And we get 200. And so what we're gonna do now is, this is our Avenger, which I already have logged in. So we can see that there are all these other database. So let's go to external house available. This is basically the model of the database that we did for our code, which you see over here. We're using SQLize, and this looks just like this. And then we can go on and select some data, and there it is. We see that our titles, I don't know, there's Babette, and contact is Vita. We can also go to the URL, for the externals. This supposedly be a URL that leads me to an external listing. But here it is, and yeah, that's about my side of the story. Actually, I can just like go over some code. As Vita was mentioned, we use MVC, so we did our model first, which is like how we want our backend to look like. And then we did our routes. The first route we did was the post route, which is create for CRUD. And then we do our controller, which everything is here. And that's it.
All right, and I guess I can go next. So I worked on the housing wanted model, on the housing wanted module. What I did, let me share my screen real quick. So this is my code right here. So I worked on the controllers, the models, and the routes. In the models, which is pretty much like a database table, like if you're posting about housing wanted, the user should be able to, provide the title, like specify like how many bedrooms they're looking for, bathrooms, their contact, and the status is that's for the apartment or the housing itself, like if the housing is available, active, inactive, or unavailable. That's how people will be able to check for that. And for the routes, we only got to I was only able to do the post route because we only have a little time to do this whole internship, so we didn't get to do like the other we didn't get to do the other routes. And for my controller, this is my controller. As you can see, like right here, um, before a user can post about the housing wanted, they need to be able to have, they must have an account and also logged in. And also this whole part is to make sure like the user, when they're selecting the options they are looking for housing, they provide valid valid data input, so they don't provide like a bad data. And then I can show you how like this looks like in the database. So I already have the API running and also already have the admin running, so we can just go to a web browser. As you can see, this documentation, and you can see the post route is already in the documentation. If you go to adminer and just log in right here, as you can see, there's a housing wanted um, in the database, and the housing wanted locations. The housing wanted locations, like it's a joined table between the housing wanted and locations. So it's only like it only has like foreign keys in there. And if you go to housing wanted, you can see well, I've already talked about the title, bedrooms, bathrooms, contact, body status, details, and everything is in here. And you can see like and this is the foreign keys, the author ID, which links um, the user that's posting about the housing wanted to the account. That way, that's how we use the account to make sure the user is logged in and also has a valid account. Um, Other than that, we only like what we mostly worked on is just coding, like the back end stuff. We didn't do much of the front end, so this is what we're only able to show you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Alain. Yeah, we can maybe also show them like the open source uh, content that we're contributing to. So let me just share my screen. So the open source that we are working on is the HousingDB and is part of Gay's Vita. And it's the project under this. And if you wanted to see more, we can go on. I'm pretty sure I did not get the right link to this. So, but we can go and look. Let me just find out the link and resume. Just give me 1 second. And stop sharing. So sorry, that was an oof, but we are back. Thank you, Vita, for sharing the link with me. So if you guys want to see more about the open source project that we contributed on, you guys can go to app.pittsburghhousing.org. This is the open source project that we are contributing content type to. Thank you so much for this talk. We really appreciate Collab, and also we really appreciate our mentor. So thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks, Al. And thanks for letting us speak and show off our work today.
All right.